A great lie against Syria has been debunked. The attack on Tremesht was condemned by the Western media as a massacre of civilians and that they had attacked these people for no reason other than the fact that they supposedly didn't like the government. Now, a UN investigation has gone in and discovered that no such thing happened. There was an attack. Their investigation shows there was an attack on rebels and military defectors, which are legitimate targets. Now, the team monitoring the place said this. The attack on Tremesht appeared targeted at specific groups and houses, mainly of army defectors and activists. However, now what remains is a discrepancy over the number of people who have actually been killed. Syrian forces say that 37 terrorists and 2 civilians died in the attack. However, activists of the Free Syrian Army claims that 220 civilians were killed. Of course, the reality is probably closer to what the Syrian government and UN monitors who plan to return to the area and continue investigation, and many of their conclusions that they've come to so far side with the Assad government, that it was part of a counter-terrorist operation and not a slaughtering of civilians, as the Western media has claimed. Now, the Syrian government also claims that this was part of an operation that was carried out to defend civilians from attacks by terrorist forces. They claim that people in the area were complaining of criminal acts at the hands of armed terrorist groups. Now, aside from all this, it is also very interesting to note how every time that there's a UN meeting on the situation of Syria, there just happens to be some kind of massacre. These things are planned awfully well. And if this really was the work of the Syrian government, they would be awfully stupid to go ahead and do this and massacre people right on the day that people are planning to discuss these events supposedly happening. Some of them have not happened, and some of them were misunderstood. They were legitimate military attacks. Some of them never even took place at all. But it is also very interesting to note how these always happen right before a UN meeting. Now, I, like many people, don't buy that these are just rebels rebelling against the government. It has been shown time after time that NATO, the US, have been interfering in the situation in Libya, arming the rebels and having them try to overthrow the Syrian government for their own purposes. This is nothing new. There's weapons coming in from Israel. There's grenades coming in from Sweden, and this whole terrible situation that's going on. This definitely does demonstrate the lengths that the Western media, the imperialists, are going to go to in order to overthrow one of the last Arab nationalist states that still exist in the Middle East and turn it into just another U.S. neo-colony.